The Titanic is sinking in the freezing Atlantic. Hundreds of lives could still be saved. And not too far away, another ship floats quietly in the dark. The SS Californian. Close enough to see Titanic's rockets, close enough to rush in and help. But instead, it never moved. And this haunting decision has left the captain of that ship branded as one of the most controversial figures in maritime history. The SS Californian was a modest cargo ship, nowhere near as glamorous as the Titanic. On the night of April 14, 1912, its captain, Stanley Lord, had seen something unusual. The ocean was littered with massive icebergs. Realizing the danger, he ordered his ship to stop for the night. The Californian's engines went quiet, and the ship simply drifted in the still, icy waters of the North Atlantic. Captain Lord also instructed his wireless operator to warn other vessels in the area. Among those vessels was the Titanic, racing forward at nearly full speed despite repeated warnings about ice. The Californian's wireless message was received by Titanic's radio operator, Jack Phillips. But Jack wasn't in the mood to listen. He was busy sending passenger messages to Cape Race, Newfoundland, routine traffic, not urgent safety warnings. When the Californian's operator interrupted, Phillips snapped back with words that would echo through history. "Shut up! Shut up! I am busy. I am working Cape Race." That was the last communication between the two ships before disaster struck. Just about an hour later, at 11:40 p.m., the Titanic struck an iceberg. The steel hull was gashed open. Within minutes, icy seawater began flooding into the ship's lower compartments. The unsinkable vessel was doomed. Distress signals were immediately sent out over wireless. The Titanic desperately called for help. But on the Californian, the radio operator had already shut down for the night. He had gone to bed. With wireless communication gone, Titanic's crew tried another method: distress rockets. Brilliant white flares lit up the midnight sky, exploding high above the sinking ship. They weren't subtle. They were unmistakable signals of trouble. Crew members on the Californian saw them. Some even counted them. In total, 8 rockets were spotted. Sailors knew what they meant, and they reported the strange flares to their captain. But Captain Stanley Lord did nothing. Each time he was told about the rockets, Captain Lord dismissed them. He claimed they were company signals, just ships communicating with each other. He never gave the order to wake the wireless operator. He never commanded the Californian to steam toward the Titanic. Instead, the ship sat silently in the night, just 19 miles away. Close enough that if they had moved, they could have arrived within an hour, in time to rescue hundreds of men, women, and children. On the Titanic, panic was rising. Lifeboats were lowered, many only half-filled. Families were torn apart. Women and children cried as fathers stayed behind on the sinking decks. Musicians played their instruments in a desperate attempt to calm the passengers. And all the while, just over the horizon, the Californian remained motionless. Its crew watched the lights of a distant ship flicker until they disappeared beneath the ocean. By the time another vessel, the Carpathia, arrived hours later, more than 1,500 lives had been lost to the freezing Atlantic. When the truth came out during the Titanic inquiries, Captain Stanley Lord was heavily criticized. The American and British investigations both concluded that if the Californian had responded to the flares, many more lives could have been saved. Lord defended himself until the day he died, insisting he hadn't realized the flares were distress signals. But history has not been kind to him. To this day, many see him as the man who could have saved the Titanic, but chose not to. The story of the SS Californian reminds us that sometimes Tragedy isn't just about what happens, but about what doesn't happen. One man's hesitation, one ignored signal, can change the course of history. So, what do you think? Was Captain Lord truly guilty of neglect? Or was he just a victim of circumstance? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more forgotten stories of history.